Hello again, guys. All right, so in the last video, we were setting up the payments table, payment history table to show on the payment history page. Okay, so we can go back. Oh, it's not going to work. I didn't deploy the server. In any case, we're going to work on the transaction history page today. Okay, so we're going to practically do the same thing that we did within here, within the payments view or payment history class, and then we will be creating the link to display our transaction logs. All right, so let's check the table. All right, so we're gonna say is that right? Transaction history. Okay. All right, so we're gonna need the transaction ID, the account ID, transaction type. Hopefully, I won't miss any columns within this video. So let's test that out. So private int, and then what else? Uh, transaction here ID. Okay, and then let's copy that. So this will be account ID. Copy from there, and then this one will be user ID. Oh, sorry, I'm actually looking at the wrong table. It's v underscore transaction history. All right, yeah. So sorry, you guys. It's not transaction history. It's v underscore transaction history. So we need the user ID, and then we need the transaction type. Okay. Um, um, I don't know how many fields there are, but okay. Transaction type, amount, that's a double. Okay, and then we need the status or the source. Sorry, the source, and then the next one should be status. Then created at. All right. Local date time. Right. So let me just verify this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 fields. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, you got everything. Don't forget to annotate that as ID. Then we need to set the getters and setters. Okay. All right. And then don't forget the table name is v underscore transaction history. Okay, so it needs to be the same as what we said here. Okay, so now we're going to create the transaction history repository. So we're going to say, it's going to be an interface. We're going to say transact history repository. Ah, right. Extends. New. What do we need? We need transaction history. Okay, and integer. So we're practically gonna do the exact same thing we did. So we're gonna say add query, native query. What am I doing? I need to take this table, where user ID equals to that user ID. Okay, let me close this list, and then it's gonna be transaction history kcat trans by ID, which is gonna be add param, and then we can say user ID. Okay, integer user ID. All right. What am I missing? What am I missing? Okay. Add repository. Right. I think that should be it. Hopefully. Transaction history. Yeah. All right. So now we're gonna come back here. We're gonna create. What am I doing? We're gonna create a transaction history page, right? So we're gonna click there and say transact history .jsp. Okay. So we're gonna take exactly what we did with the payment page. We're going to copy everything from where we are including the header and pasting it there, and then we're going to take everything at the bottom here. What am I doing? And paste it down here. Okay. All right, so now we need to display again a table. So I checked my previous project, and I realized that in the payment history page, remember it didn't show the background. So I did put this within a card body. So first thing I'm gonna do, I'm in the payments history page, right? Don't forget that. So we're gonna come here quickly, and then we're gonna say card, uh, right? And then in here we're gonna say div. What am I doing? And then we're gonna give it a class of card. Okay. And then in here, card body. Then we're gonna create another div. Right? And then in here, we're going to paste back that table for the payments, the table that we are looping through for the payments records. Okay. And I'm going to put this comment down here so that we can see where we are. And this is going to be the end of the card payment. Okay. All right. So hopefully that will look much nicer than what we saw earlier on. Okay. So in the transaction history, again, I'm going to set up the same thing, but I just want you guys to just follow. Um, um, uh, I'm gonna copy in what I did. So right? And then I'm gonna paste it there. So let me just try and make make it so that you guys can see. So look, there's no, actually, what am I doing here? Let me remove this and that as well. Okay, and what else? I'm gonna remove that as well. Okay, and then we should have the normal yeah. Okay, so um okay, so here we have the table for displaying the transactions. Okay, so I hope you are able to see what I just did there. So there's a Bootstrap card here within the container, right? There's a Bootstrap card. I just named it that, and then there's the card header, right? And then this is the body. Okay, we're practically looping through the transaction logs. I mean transaction information the same way we did the last time. But let me see. Let me remove that. Okay, but don't worry about this. We will change it just now. All right. So what I then need to do is here within the app controller, we're gonna do the exact same thing we did with the payments. All right. I'm gonna copy that. Okay. And let's change the name. Transact history. Okay. Then we're gonna auto wire. Let me not forget that. And then we're gonna say okay. Okay. So here we're gonna change this to transact uh transaction history. Okay. Model. Okay. And then here we're gonna say transaction history or flip. Okay. My apologies, guys. I was editing the wrong what do you call it? View. Okay. So this is where we need to make the changes. Transfer, transact, history. Let's remove that. Then we're gonna say transact history dot get transaction by ID, and then we get the user's ID, and then we already imported that here, right? And then here we're gonna change this from we're gonna say transact history. Okay. All right. Transact history. Okay. All right. So now here we're gonna say get. All right. We name. Then we can change that. Then change that. Okay. And then user transact history. Okay. Copy that and paste it there. All right. Here we're gonna say transact history. Okay. So right. That's all. So we also need to change this and say transact history. All right. Apologies for the copying and pasting. I just want this video to just move along a bit faster so we don't linger on. All right. So we changed that. So I'm gonna copy this. We're gonna go back to the component. Remember, in the header we need to change the route. So we now I'm gonna say app, then transact history. Okay. All right. So what else? So we're gonna come back here. There's an issue somewhere here. We're missing a semicolon. All right. So we're getting the transact history. This is where we set up the get mapping for this file, right? We're setting the view here, and then we're getting the user object that's the user that's logged in, and then we created a list of transaction history and set it to that variable, and then we pulled our repository there. Okay, then we're setting it within the object. So now let's copy that object, and we're gonna come back to the transact history page. Okay, so make sure it's the same as how we set it up here within the payments table. So I'm gonna change that. All right, those are the items. uh that's fine, and then that's also fine. Okay, and then we're setting it to that variable over there, and then that's what we are accessing now here. Okay, um let's see. So remember, I put it within a Bootstrap card. We can actually do the same for the payments one as well. So let's take this, right? Set the, let's come here before the body, right? And paste it there, and then change that to payment history. Okay, all right. So hopefully you guys were able to follow what I was doing. Apologies if you were not. So, but yeah, I just don't want this video to linger on quite and so forth. So, but in any case, let's check out and see if our information is displaying within our view, right? So I'm gonna run the application, and then hopefully if there are no issues, we'll be able to see our transaction log. One moment for me, please. All right, guys. I encountered an issue while deploying the application. So there's one mistake we made, or I made. You see the object there is transact history, right? So here within the page, I forgot to change this part of here. This one is checking for transaction history, so it doesn't display anything within the table. So I need to change that from transaction history to the same as what we set up here. All right. So I'm gonna replace that. Sorry. I'm gonna copy this and paste it there. All right. Apologies for that, guys. So I'm gonna run the app again, and then we will check it out. One moment for me, please. All right, the server is now up. No error so far. Let's log in again. Okay, Sam. Okay, so let's go to transaction history. Okay. What the hell? Account name. Account ID transaction type. Oh, okay. So meaning we need to remove this one over here. All right. So by mistake, I forgot to include that particular field when we created the um, what you call it, the view. All right. So that means we have to remove that and then remove that as well. Okay. I hope you were able to see. So um, here we don't have account name. So all we have is the um, account ID, user ID, transaction tab. We were supposed to actually add that within when we were creating the view, but it's fine. We don't need that for now. So I've removed it from the table where we are looping through the transactions and so forth. So just do the same. All right. So hopefully that's the last issue. I'm going to redeploy the file again, and then we're going to test and see if everything is now sorted. One moment for me, please. All right, guys. The server is now up. All right, now let's check and see if we can now view our content. Right, password three. Okay, so transaction history. Okay, so at least we are now able to view our transaction logs. Okay, so yeah, that's displaying the information that we first viewed when we were testing our audit trail and all of that. So yeah, but in any case, we are now able to view all the transactions that this particular user has performed. And then the other thing is payments. Okay, so that table is now showing, at least it's a bit nicer now. So like I said, I had set this up within a Bootstrap card. So this time around, fortunately, I didn't set it up initially the first time around, so that's why it was showing a grayish, the gray background and so forth. But yeah, just if I know I was bouncing around all over the place, so but hopefully you guys were able to see what I was doing and so forth. All right, so I think I think we're almost done. There's what else do we need to do? All right, so in the next video, what we're gonna then do is set up interceptors to protect against anyone trying to access the anything that, for example, the dashboard, the payment history, the transaction history, anyone trying to access these routes, we're gonna protect against that so that it redirects them back to the login page to log in. Okay, so nobody's supposed to be able to access this without logging in. Because if I do this, and if I say app and then dashboard, we see we then are sitting we are then what you call it, seeing this particular error page and whatnot. All right, so yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Again, I hope you guys were able to follow what I was doing. I know I was a bit lazy there, copying and pasting all over the place and whatnot, but yeah, like I said, I don't want these videos to linger on too long, so that is why I went for that. In any case, guys, if you were not frustrated by what I was doing within the past two videos, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you guys within the next video. All right, cheers for now.